Welcome to Wild Drama Stories. Let's get to story number 1. Opie writes, Am I the a-hole for wanting my mother-in-law to move out after she kicked out my parents? Hi there, I'm here to ask for advice and to make my husband see that I'm not the a-hole. Here's hoping you all can see where I'm coming from. I, 45 female, live with my children, 12 female, 14 male and 15 male, husband 46 male, and mother-in-law 65 female. My mother-in-law moved in with us back in 2015 after my father-in-law passed away because she was financially struggling. My mother-in-law is not easy to live with, and we struggled immensely at the beginning, but after a few years we found a way to cohabit. Then recently, 3 months ago to be exact, my parents, 68 female and 68 male, house burned down and they moved in with us while everything is sorted out with insurance and so on. My boys are sharing a bedroom as my parents are currently staying in my eldest bedroom. My mother-in-law has struggled with this and seems to hate my mother being around. My mother has done nothing to upset her or disturb her. In fact, my parents' bedroom is on the other side of the house. She doesn't, however, have problems with my father and always finds a way to hang out with him. A few days ago, while I was away for work, a massive argument happened between my mother and mother-in-law. My mother had accused her of trying to seduce my father, and there were some inappropriate texts sent to my father. My father immediately showed it to my mother, and my mother responded as if she was my father to see how far mother-in-law would go. And well, she went far. Well, my mother confronted her, and mother-in-law called the police, saying she felt threatened, who then escorted my parents out the house. This all happened while my husband was at work and the kids at school. My parents went to stay at a hotel, and they explained what happened to me over the phone. When I returned, I gave mother-in-law 2 weeks to move out. My husband thinks I'm escalating things, and that I should forgive his mother's actions because she was lonely and confused. FYI, there is nothing wrong with her, she's in good health. So, am I the a-hole for wanting her out of our house and my life? FYI, to answer, my husband has not seen the texts and pictures his mother sent my father. The only reason he hasn't seen it is because he refused to. But I think I'll have to insist because I need him to really understand how nasty she's been. Also, I wanted to kick her out immediately, but my husband begged me to give him 2 weeks so he could find a place for her. And my parents, being the saints that they are, said that I should give him that. My husband has profusely apologized to my parents, but my parents aren't upset with us and hold only mother-in-law responsible, as it was her disgusting actions that led to this. 1. In the pictures sent to my father, mother-in-law wasn't completely naked. She sent him lingerie pictures with suggestive poses and accompanied with lurid text, which is why my husband isn't particularly interested in seeing them. 2. The police asked my parents to leave since my mother-in-law technically lives there. To avoid escalating the situation, my parents decided to leave. The police officers did not file any charges and just left after a chat with everyone involved. There was zero violence and no one got hurt. 3. Mother-in-law moved in with us after she had lost almost everything. Father-in-law died after a long battle with cancer. Medical costs ate up pretty much most of their savings, and she had to sell their house. This led her to spiral into a deep depression. My husband was very worried for his mother, and for good reason, as she was in a terrible state at the time, so we decided to move her in with us. Let's get some comments with replies from Opie before we get Opie's update. Did you get your parents back in and informed the police? Your mother-in-law is also only a long-term guest, and she has no say in whether your parents stay or not. Opie replies, I tried, but my parents refused to come to my house if that woman is there. I got them a real nice Airbnb that's a few minutes away from me. They are not upset with me or my husband. They are just really shocked and disgusted. And another comment. Out of interest, what did the police say when they turned up and your parents had proof of what's been going on? Opie replies, the police said that since my mother-in-law technically lives there, that my parents had to be the ones to leave. No charges were filed, but from the security cameras, the cops clearly thought my mother-in-law was crazy. One of them asked her why she would crap where she ate and ruin her family and living situation like that. She answered with, I know I effed up and I don't know why. And a month later, we have OP's update. I thought I'd give you all an update, since several people have asked for one. My mother-in-law is currently staying in an Airbnb, and since she is in no position to buy her own place, my husband has decided he's buying her a 2 or 3 bedroom place near us. The plan is for her to rent out the second room to her friend, who is currently going through a divorce. I haven't spoken to or seen my mother-in-law for 3 weeks now. My husband goes to see her once or twice a week, as she is apparently severely depressed. She is also upset with me for telling my husband's entire family why she's been kicked out of my house, and they are all appalled with her. My husband has also gone off on her a few times for her behavior, and he fully backs me in the decision to ban her from our home. The children know there has been a falling out with their grandmother and me, and I suspect they know why, but they also know they can maintain their own relationship with her without it upsetting me. They miss her and have gone to visit her a few times with their father. There's much I can say about my mother-in-law, but one thing I can't deny is her love for her grandchildren. My husband still hasn't looked at the messages his mother sent my father, and honestly, I can understand it. Because I too wouldn't want to see anything sexual involving my mother. As for my husband and I, we are both working on our relationship. Obviously, during this period, our relationship was strained, but we are back on track. My husband has apologized to me several times for not putting his foot down with his mother earlier on, and he is doing everything he can to mend our marriage. This whole situation has made my parents' and my husband's relationship awkward, but we are all slowly working on mending it. As for my parents' house, it will take another month or so before they can move back in. It's currently a construction site and my parents are looking forward to redecorating it. Let's get a comment with a reply from OP. Why is she getting the gift of a house? That's insane. She and a friend can rent together. OP replies, Personally, I'm not in favor with him buying the house, but my husband did work out that it would be cheaper than senior living. We looked at it and financially this would be the best option for us. Well, OP, first of all, when I hear a story where somebody lost everything or just about everything because of medical bills, that is such a tragedy and so crazy that we still live in a world like that. As for what your mother-in-law did, OP, there is no excuse for it. No, you are not the a-hole. It is best for her to be out of the house, and if this is what makes the most sense for you and your husband to buy her another house, and by the way, OP did mention that the house would be in her husband's name. If that is what's going to work for you as a family, then that is what you should do. I can believe that your mother-in-law, now that she's out of the house, now that everybody knows what she's done, that she is depressed and embarrassed. I'm also sure embarrassment is part of it. But you also said that she just didn't like your mom from the start. She had an issue with your mom being there. And I don't know, maybe part of it was also spite. I don't know. There are so many ways to put yourself out there if you're looking to date, if you're trying to find a partner. Ways that do not involve going after your son's married father-in-law. And I have to give you credit that you are not standing in the way of her having a relationship with your children. And as you say, she is a good grandmother. Anyway, OP, I do hope that all of you as a family can start to heal after everything that's happened. On to story number 2. OP writes, Not an English speaker. So, me and my ex have been together for 5 years, and from my point of view, everything was fine. We were in love, we were living together, we were the classic all roses and flowers couple because we had almost everything in common, like hobbies, passions, and the same character. So really in 5 years, we never had a disagreement, fight, or argument. In fact, our friends used to say that she was my exact copy. Ha ha. During this 5 years, I never noticed anything wrong with her behavior. We were always on the same page, and our intimacy was amazing. So believe me that I almost fainted when I found out that she was cheating on me through security cameras in my house. I was shocked and speechless, because I couldn't see anything wrong with our relationship. We were both extremely fit, doing romantic dates, gifts, little acts of kindness and protection, and always satisfied during our intimacy. So really the cheating came out of the blue. The next day, I wanted to confront her, but when I came home from work, waiting for her, all her clothes and things were gone. Again, I wasn't understanding what was going on until I received a text from her that was explaining the whole mess. Basically, the text said that she was in an affair since we started dating because she couldn't choose between me and her ex. So she took both, until she realized that her ex was more in love than you, and she went to stay with him. She said that the 5 years of our relationship were a good experiment, and then blocked me. The way she wrote it, with absolute coldness and disrespect for me and my feelings, made me mad and resentful at her. So I never contacted her again, but told my friends and family about the whole mess. All this happened a week ago. 2 days later, she died in a car accident with her affair partner while driving, both drunk. Her family, they didn't know anything about all of this, reached out to me to inform me about the accident, but I told them that I don't give a F because we are ex and she betrayed me, so I was feeling nothing for her. They were in disbelief because obviously she never told them the whole situation, so I did and sent them the text she sent me a few days ago. They were sorry for me and understood my bad feelings for her. My family and friends, when they knew about the accident, texted me, but I told them again that I don't give a F about my ex and that I hope she is in hell right now with her ex. They all called me a cold and emotionless a-hole, but sincerely I don't care. They can say whatever they want, but nothing will change the sense of betrayal that I feel and the 5 years that I wasted with someone who was lying to me and cheating for the whole relationship. So, am I the a-hole? Here's Opie's update. So first of all, I want to thank you all for your support. I couldn't imagine so much people understanding my emotions and giving me advice. So again, thank you all. Many of you got it right. When I made my post, I was still really angry and extremely mad for what happened and how fast it all happened. So I made it more like a rant or something to complain and rage about. And I'm grateful to all of you that understood it. I read a few of your comments in the first hours of my post, and I got your point. So today I called my ex's parents and had a talk of a few hours with them. I basically asked them sorry for what I said and that I was sad that she passed away. Not true, because I'm still extremely angry and mad, but tried my best to not upset them more. And they told me again to not worry about it because they understood my mix of emotions and told me that they were grateful to me for reaching out to them. From their point of view, they never saw anything wrong with our relationship and no signs that she was cheating on me because they always saw us together being happy. But they knew the affair partner, but like a best friend and nothing else. So they couldn't imagine the worst. I told them that it's past what happened and that the important thing for them is to recover from their daughter's death and to be happy again. They always treated me well and never said anything wrong about me. So I feel a little remorseful for what I said to them because they couldn't imagine my ex's double life. Anyway, now I will work on myself to move on from all this mess and to be less angry and mad. But it's the first time that a thing like this happens to me. So I'm still in a mix of emotions, but I will work on it to be better. I made already peace with my friends and parents, and they too understood why I got mad and angry, so now everything is fine between us. Again, thank you all for your support, and I hope not to be here again with a disaster situation like this. Opie, go for therapy. You did say that you're working on yourself, but you didn't mention actually going to therapy. And you really will have to go because there's a lot that happened to you in a very short space of time. And you need to find some kind of closure because you didn't get that with her cheating and finding it out because 2 days later she passed away. So there was never closure with that. So you're dealing with her cheating and you're dealing with her death. And you're saying that you don't care. Well, you don't care right now because your anger is what is at the forefront of your emotions. But eventually that will settle. And then it's going to be hard for you, Opie. There's going to be sadness. There's going to be depression. It's going to be difficult. So the sooner you get into therapy, the better. I mean, I can't even imagine the shock of all of this, the shock of the cheating, somebody that you thought you knew, and then to find out that she's cheated the entire 5 years of your relationship and called it an experiment. And then suddenly she's gone. She's passed away. She's dead. There's just this, that's a lot to take in, Opie. So I just wish the very best for you, Opie. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. Story number 3. Opie writes, Valentine's Day has always been special to my wife and her family. So the other day when I asked my wife what she wanted for Valentine's Day, she burst into tears. This was obviously not the response I wanted, and I asked her what was wrong. Her dad died last summer. Obviously, I already knew this, but she goes on to tell me how he always gets her mom roses, Hershey kisses, and hostess ho-hos. And she's crying because he can't do it this year and her mom will be alone. I have to work today, but I took a detour to mother-in-law's with roses, Hershey kisses, and ho-hos, knowing mother-in-law wasn't going to be home. I used the hidden key and got in, arranged everything, and then hightailed it to work. Mother-in-law won't be back home for another few hours, and I'm just giddy thinking about her reaction. I don't plan on telling either of them, so I just wanted to put this here. And here's Opie's update. So my mother-in-law instantly knew it was me. She thought it was either me or wife, and she texted wife first, and they put 2 and 2 together. She texted me and said, Duke, her dog, told me that you stopped by. So I told her, I don't know why he said that, he's a liar. And she thanked me for the gifts, even though I thoroughly denied the accusations that the dog made. I mean, I thought we were pals, but he's out here telling secrets, lol. My wife says she has a special gift for me when I come home from work tonight, and tomorrow I'm taking her to her favorite steak place. So my big secret was a secret for all of 1 hour. Well, Opie, that was a very nice thing that you did for your mother-in-law, and it definitely made what would have been a hard day for her that much easier. It's really nice to read about something like this, where somebody goes out of their way to perform a little act of kindness that ends up making a big difference to the person on the receiving end. So that's it for this edition of Wow Drama Stories. Thank you for listening, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.